Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 171 here on season 1. And today we are getting into highest paying ETFs on Stash. So this question comes from Christopher Michael. And he asked, can you do a video on good dividend ETFs on Stash besides delicious dividend? Real quick, what is a dividend? A dividend is basically a cash payment that a company pays you, an investor, for owning part of their business. So when you buy stock in a company, you buy part of a business. You buy a share of their business. So they figure that they should pay you to some degree. Some companies pay dividends, some companies don't. Typically, these dividends are paid out of their profit, but some kind of dividends do come out of other places, but most of them do come out of their profit. So with investing into stocks that pay dividend, I think it's actually a really good idea to invest in a dividend paying stocks, because especially reinvesting into those same dividend stocks, the dividends that you got paid, will definitely help you grow that account. So it helps you snowball that account. I think it's the best way. Reinvesting the dividends is the best way to snowball an investment account. So on Stash, what I did is I just isolated the dividends. I didn't include any growth for picking good dividend ETFs, but what I did was I just isolated the dividend growth versus the expense, and then kind of came up with what I thought was best. So basically, growth means basically how much a stock will run up or an ETF runs up, and I didn't take that in consideration. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet. So on here, basically, the name of the ETF is going to be over on this side over here. And then the dividend that it pays out, this is going to be all in percents right here. Oh, not 120%. Take that off. Undo that. Control Z. Undo. Sorry, mistake. So that's going to be the dividend payment right there in percent. And then this is going to be the expense ratio percent. And this is going to be the dividend, or the expense minus the dividend, which gives you 2.4 for delicious dividends. So anyways, as I scroll down, what I'll eventually do is post a link for this spreadsheet on the document. Right now it's set up for my actual Stash payment, so that way I can keep track of that as well. But what I'll do is I'll eventually upload this, so that way you guys can look at it, and then you're not going through every single ETF trying to figure out and do math and remember and that kind of thing. So there's a 2.71. That's pretty close to a delicious dividend. Delicious dividend is 2.74. So apparently anything that's probably beating that is a good dividend. Central Europe's is pretty good. But as we get further down the line, we start seeing higher ones. There's a few almost twos right there with conservative mix and public works. Those aren't going to be really good growth stocks. Those are just going to be like stable accounts. 2.8 with Pacific Powerhouse. However, when you get down to the bottom, we got our top three. So we got Real Estate Tycoon, which is actually an REIT. So that's going to be paying a higher dividend because that comes out of their rent, basically, that they make off of the properties that they have. So it's going to be a little bit higher. It's going to be 4.6. That's the best, highest paying ETF that pays a dividend. That pays 4.6 right there. Next one is going to be Wireless Wonders, which I was surprised. But these people pay 3.43. So that actually beats inflation by a little bit. And that's going to be second. And third will be High Voltage, which comes in as 2.89, which actually is beating delicious dividends by about 0.13%. So that's actually really good. And the reason why you want to do the expense ratio versus the dividend, because both those are pretty much known. The expense ratio is known. You're going to pay that if you hold that stock for a year. The dividend ratio could fluctuate just a little bit, but most of those ETFs are going to try to keep it locked in at that price. So dividend-wise, if you're looking at investing stocks that pay the best dividends, first of all, Real Estate Tycoon, second, some Wireless Wonders, and then third, High Voltage. However, the reason why the delicious dividends is called delicious dividends is because that stock or that ETF is going to be made up of the companies that are like the strongest, the least volatile, that are probably going to grow to some degree, but also pay very good dividends. So that's why we're with like a Wireless Wonders or even like an REIT or High Voltage, we might see a lot more volatility with those, and so the dividends could fluctuate and you could lose money with the growth on that, where a delicious dividend should get you pretty consistent growth, not be very volatile, and still pay a decent dividend. So anyways, I hope that answers your question. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into the question of the day, which is, who is your favorite superhero? My favorite superhero, I mean, I would have to choose Batman because Batman doesn't have any superpowers. But if I had to choose someone, actually, Batman and Iron Man, I just absolutely love like Robert Downey Jr. And so that's why I like Iron Man. And there's another video where he acts in it, and I just really like enjoyed his acting in it. I can't remember the title of it, but both of those superheroes would be my favorite. That's just kind of the way it works. Like I would say, if you guys have any questions regarding Stash, Acorns, or Robinhood, as well as general investing advice, business, Etsy, coaching, post those questions down below, and I will try to get them on the next episode. And until next time, don't forget to subscribe up in this corner and check out my worst investment on Stash, and then check out this other video right here. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.